Welcome, you filthy animals, to the 46th episode of Blockbuster Mentality, your favorite place to go for all things movies. I'm your host, Ben Secord. It is Friday, March 3rd, 2016. I know it's been a while since we've been on. We do apologize for that, but we're back. I am solo today, but we are back, and we are on YouTube again with our podcast, but you can also obviously catch us on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. Appreciate you guys checking out the show. We've got a lot to go over today. We're going to go over the box office results, also some trailer stuff. New trailers have come out for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and also Kong, Skull Island, Alien Covenant. We're going to go over some Mel Gibson, Suicide Squad 2 news, some Star Wars news, and a whole lot more. So sit back, relax, let's talk some movies. But first things first, as always, we are going to go over the box office results from this past weekend. So, this weekend, the main new release was Get Out, the new horror film from Jordan Peele, his directorial debut. And man, is that getting good reviews. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. The box office results coming in at number one was that film, Get Out, with $33.3 million. It has a $4.5 million budget, by the way. $33.3 million in its first week. Then we had it coming in at number two, the Lego Batman movie, $19.2 million. Number three, John Wick Chapter 2, in its third week with $9.3 million. Number four, we had The Great Wall with $9.1 million. And rounding out the top five, 50 Shades Darker with $7.7 million. So yeah, Get Out, definitely a standout there. $4.5 million budget, already has made $33.3 million in its first week. I think it was at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for the longest time this week, and then finally I think someone did have a negative review for it, but it's definitely taken people by surprise. I'm not a horror guy. Not into that genre much, but this definitely has me intrigued, and I think I'm going to have to check it out because of what everyone's saying about it. But yeah, Lego Batman movie sticking in there too at the number two spot. In its third week, $19.2 million. That's definitely nice to see as well. And John Wick Chapter 2, I'm glad that that's still sticking around in its third week as well. So first thing I want to get to in the show is actually my review for Logan. And you folks watching on YouTube, I'm doing my review a little different this time. I'm being a little lazy. I'm just going to post a separate video for my Logan review, but it's also going to be included in this podcast. You know, killing two birds with one stone. Can you blame me? Come on. But I got a chance to see Logan, and I wanted to give my thoughts on it, as we usually do on this podcast or this YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. All right, so Logan obviously stars Hugh Jackman, has Patrick Stewart in there as Xavier. It's the third and final installment of the Wolverine trilogy, and kind of just the last of what at least they're saying the last we'll be seeing of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It does seem to be his last film. I believe Patrick Stewart said it's his last one as well. But it basically is about as follows. I'm going to read the IMDb synopsis here. And again, I doing things a little differently today. So if you're used to seeing my reviews on YouTube, I'm in a different element, when I'm doing my podcast. So it's a little different. Got a mic in front of me, got headphones on. I know, it's crazy. It is crazy. But Logan, there's not much to the story, but just wanted to give the IMDb synopsis. In the near future, a wary Logan cares for an ailing Professor X in a hideout on the Mexican border, but Logan's attempts to hide from the world and his legacy are upended when a young mutant arrives, being pursued by dark forces. And that young mutant is what we know as X-23. Basically, she's a clone of Logan, or Wolverine, as the comics bring out, and we find out in the movie as well. I'm obviously not, I'm not familiar with the comic story or anything like that, but that I did know. But Logan, first rated R movie that Hugh Jackman's been in as Wolverine. I was going to say the first rated R movie, X-Men movie, but technically Deadpool was the first one, as that is in that X-Men universe. But man, they did not hold back in this. It was brutal, but this is the Wolverine you've been wanting to see. He is totally badass in this movie. Just the different I mean, like I said, brutal is the best way to put it, I'd say. But yeah, just the different shots of him just going ham on people, just it's so satisfying, and that's what you want to see in Wolverine. And the little girl too, she is just as violent as Hugh Jackman is as Wolverine. She's kind of terrifying at points. I loved the chemistry with the old Professor X, Patrick Stewart. I loved the chemistry with him and Hugh Jackman in this. I thought it was great. Had a lot of humor in it, which I shouldn't say a lot, but it had more humor than I was expecting, which was good. It wasn't forced in there, but it was well done. And then solid performances by even a kind of surprising performance is Stephen Merchant, who plays a mutant that can kind of know where other mutants are, and he's I guess an albino in it, and so he's very sensitive to the sun and things like that. He plays a good part. But yeah, just the action in this movie is incredible. It's emotional. It gets a lot deeper than most superhero movies get. You know, on a personal level, it's very intimate. You know, you see Hugh Jackman almost doing like menial tasks. It's a very intimate film, I'd say. So that I love that about it, the brutality, and then the even the intimacy of it, and just it's kind of his development throughout the story and his relationship with the girl. And yeah, I really like that. Going towards maybe more negative side, it does get a little slow in the middle and even towards the end, and the story isn't that gripping. Didn't really get to me too much. It was very predictable, but it still was very satisfying. That's I know I've said that twice now here, but that's a great way to describe it. It's just satisfying the way they're not held back with the PG-13 version. They're able to just totally do what they want and what they can with this film, and I thought they did a great job with that. It's a great send-off for the character of Wolverine and even Professor X, because like I said, they said it's going to be their last film, but so as of now it seems like it's a good send-off. It's a good final film for it. Great emotion in it. You even get teary-eyed in it, which is a rarity, I must say, with comic book films. Hugh Jackman's performance I thought was incredible. Also, Patrick Stewart was incredible as well. Both of them, their best as the character, and they played these characters several times in several movies, so that was great as well. But yeah, just a little slow at points, and the story was just kind of predictable and didn't really grip me too much, but I was definitely enthralled by the emotion in it, so I definitely give it that. But Wolverine, best Wolverine movie to date, which isn't saying much, because we had X-Men Origins, which is terrible, and then we had the Wolverine, which was more tolerable but still not that great. This is what we've always wanted with Wolverine, and I am totally satisfied with this film. Had a lot of fun watching it, and I think that even the slow parts would probably be better on a second watch. So with that said, I'll go ahead and I give Wolverine a 7.5. So there you have it, Logan. Check it out. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe here and check out our other videos here. That would be great. We'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys at the movies, because that's what I say in my YouTube videos. But this is the podcast, so I don't know. Bye. All right, so there's the review of Logan. All right, and then another item I wanted to discuss quickly was the Oscar winners. The Oscars were this past weekend. We usually do a Oscar preview show. Again, haven't been doing this podcast much lately, which is weird for us because we've been consistent over the last over a year that we've been doing this. We've been very consistent. It's just sometimes you need a little breather, and then some people get sick. Some people have emergencies they have to take care of. So we're gonna be back. We're gonna be more consistent, but we'll definitely keep you guys posted as to what's going on. And again, I don't foresee any more hiccups, and I don't foresee any more shows of it just being just me and going solo. I hope not. So Brandon, Vinny, if you're listening, come on, guys, join me. Come on in. But Oscars, we usually, like I said, we usually do an Oscar preview special, but just wanted to go over the show a little bit and the winners. So the big winner of the night for Best Picture was La La Land. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was a mistake. Moonlight is Best Picture. If you didn't check out the show, man, what drama at the end of the show. Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, Bonnie and Clyde were up presenting the award for Best Picture, and they get up there, they announce the nominees, and when it's time to read the card, Warren Beatty's kind of just looking at the card. Seems just senile and confused. It's like, come on, what are you doing? Just read it already. He said the Academy Award goes to, and then he pauses. He's kind of just looking confused, looking in the envelope again. It's like, what are you doing? And then he just kind of hands it over to Faye Dunaway, and she says, La La Land. It's like, okay, phew, okay, La La Land won, great. And obviously, you guys know how I feel about La La Land. That's who I was rooting for. That's who I even picked as Best Picture. But then you start seeing, once La La Land, one of the producers gave a speech, the next one gave a speech, and then the third one was giving his speech, and you see these guys in headsets on stage walking around. So at that moment, you know something's up. And I'm just thinking, okay, Jimmy Kimmel's hosting. Is he up to something here? What's going on? And then all of a sudden you hear one of the producers of La La Land say, in the middle of his speech, he said, "We lost, by the way." And it's like, okay, what is he talking about? And then the other producer comes in and says, "Moonlight, you guys won." We're like, what's going on? What is this? So it turns out that somehow there's 2 envelopes for each category, supposedly, and somehow Warren Beatty ended up with the Best Actress envelope again. So it said Emma Stone, La La Land. So that's what Faye Dunaway saw. She just saw La La Land, so she said La La Land. But Warren Beatty, he's not a senile old man. He knew something was up, and then he even explained it at the end. So I'm glad he got a little redemption there, saying, hey, that's why it took so long. I wasn't trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to do anything. But yeah, it was just, I've never seen anything like that on the Oscars. It was in, I think it happened once in like the 60s. Miles Davis had the wrong, no, not Miles Davis. I think Sammy Davis Jr., sorry. He had the wrong envelope during, and they corrected it pretty quickly there. But yeah, this was just crazy. So yeah, thought it was La La Land, but then Moonlight won, which I kind of feel bad for both movies because, you know, the spotlight was kind of taken away from Moonlight a little bit. They didn't get that initial reaction, that initial excitement they should have gotten, because once they said Moonlight, they're just kind of looking at each other like, whoa, is this a joke? Like, what the heck's going on? And then they slowly get to have that excitement, whereas, you know, typically you get that excitement right away and you're happy, and, you know, that was taken away from them. And then I feel bad for La La Land, obviously, too, because they were up there giving speeches. They thought for sure they won, and then it gets taken away from them. But yeah, that was very interesting. But I wasn't surprised that Moonlight won. I would have been happier if they just announced Moonlight right away, and that would have been done with. I wasn't surprised that they won it all, but hey, they definitely deserved it. It was a great film. You know, I had them in my predictions. I tweeted out that I had La La Land, I thought will win and might win. I had Moonlight. So again, wouldn't have been surprised. And then some of the bigger categories, Best Actor went to Casey Affleck for Manchester by the Sea. Best Actress in a lead role was Emma Stone for La La Land. And then you had the supporting categories. You had Best Supporting Actress, Viola Davis for Fences, Best Supporting Actor, Mahershala Ali for Moonlight, and then the Best Director award went to Damien Chazelle for La La Land. Well deserved. Was happy about that. And again, wasn't surprised about the the acting Oscars. I totally predicted, all four of them to win, and was so happy that Emma Stone got it. It was definitely pulling for her mostly, and the others were totally deserved. And what else? Screenplay. So screenplay, this is where they announced this before director and before Best Picture, obviously. So this kind of, it had me guessing La La Land's chances, because as soon as they announced Best Original Screenplay for Manchester by the Sea, I was surprised. I thought for sure La La Land would win, because typically if you win Best Screenplay, you win the Oscar. You win, you're going to win Best Picture if you win Screenplay. History typically shows. So that got me a little nervous at first, because they announced Best Original Screenplay. So I was like, okay, it's okay though. And then they announced Best Adapted Screenplay, and that obviously went to Moonlight, and Moonlight ended up winning Best Picture. So that goes in line with what I was saying. If usually Best Picture also won the screenplay. So, but yeah, then Manchester by the Sea, I thought maybe had a chance at that point, winning Best Original Screenplay, and obviously they had a chance. Probably even more so than La La Land. But then when Damien Chazelle won Best Director before they announced Best Picture, I was thinking, okay, they'd still have a shot. And then they announced them as Best Picture. I was like, yep, okay, great. I had nothing to worry about. Oh, wait, no, Moonlight won. But yeah, all wasn't surprised, besides, obviously the ending little mishap there. Wasn't surprised by any of the winners. So, but yeah, I thought it was a great show. I thought Jimmy Kimmel did a great job. I love his little beef he has with fake beef he has with Matt Damon. I think that's really cool that they've kept that going for 10 years. So, but yeah, overall very entertaining show. So glad it went well, other than the end. All right, and then some trailers came out this week, or in the last couple weeks. I don't know. We have so much news that we missed over the past few weeks that we've been gone. I think this is, since we started this podcast, I think that was 3 weeks in a row we missed. I think that's the most ever. I think the most before that was just 2. So again, we're back. We're going strong, and you shouldn't have too much to worry about. But Guardians of the Galaxy 2, another trailer came out for that. Looks incredible. Looks very entertaining, just like the first one looked. This one almost looks more entertaining, and just visually looks amazing, and even better than the first one, I'd even say. The only thing I'm getting a little, not irritated at, or I guess just a little thrown off, is how they're handling Drax. Because he was more quiet and reserved in the first one, and I know they kind of broke him out of his shell, but even the comedy he did do was very subtle, and he didn't really know it was funny. He wasn't really trying to crack jokes, and that was what made it even funnier, is because he didn't really know what he was saying. And now it seems like they're making him too jokey and too silly of a character. Because in the first one they leave him, he's basically wanting revenge for, Ronan killing his family, and then he finds out that Thanos is actually responsible for it. So then at the end he's, that's his new motivation, is going after Thanos. So it's just, I hope they leave some room for actual, emotion in this, and seriousness. Obviously I want it to be fun and funny, just like the first one was, but I don't know, the trailers so far just throwing me off with Drax, so that's the only negative I have about it. But yeah, just love the chemistry with all the characters, and the wisecrack jokes from Rocket Raccoon and Chris Pratt's character, Star-Lord. But yeah, just everything. It looks visually stunning, so can't wait for that. And another King Kong trailer came out that, not too much more. I'm definitely excited for it. That comes out next weekend. So yeah, definitely excited for that. I'm trying to think what even came out in that trailer. Not much. Not much. I think we got a little bit more of John C. Reilly. And yeah. I mean, we'll see how it is. I think reviews just finally came out for it today. Some people got to see some early screenings for it. I might be seeing it on Monday, and then it comes out, that Friday of that week that I'll be hopefully seeing it. So I'll get you folks a review possibly next week. But definitely look out for that. And then a trailer for Alien Covenant came out. Meh, I don't know. It's just typical. This trailer just reminded me that just they're making remakes of everything, which is fine. And I know this isn't a remake per se; it's just kind of a sequel. But it's just they're trying to keep these franchises alive years later, and sometimes you just gotta know when to call it quits. Like, this just seems very generic. They're trying to go to a planet to start a civilization there because they're going. I guess everyone on there is a couple. So they're gonna, try to populate that planet, live on it, start a civilization there, and what do you know? Aliens show up and they're, sucking on their faces and crawling out of them, just like any other alien movie. So it's nothing really spectacular. It's just the same old stuff. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'll see it, but the trailer didn't get me any more excited. Yeah, there's some cool shots of the actual alien. Cool. But, just action scenes, But if you're into that sort of thing, sure, go for it. And great time to mention this, but I'm testing some stuff out with the sound this week. So hopefully it sounds better than past weeks. But if it sounds worse, I apologize for that, because that is not what I'm trying to do. All right, so we just have a couple other topics I just wanted to quickly go over, and we're going to start to try to keep the show at 30 to 45 minutes. I know we in the past we've been doing over an hour, and I think that's just a little too long. So I think we're going to try to keep it 30 to 45 minutes. I think that'll be great, especially people like you folks, on your commute. I know commutes aren't always an hour long, and sometimes you want to listen to something else on your commute. So flip on us for a half hour, 45 minutes, and listen to something else if you still have a commute. But just wanted to give you that little news there. Some interesting stuff with Mel Gibson, which he just directed Hacksaw Ridge, which was a fantastic film. Definitely check that out if you have not checked that out. So last week there was some rumors or maybe 2 weeks ago, that he was in talks to direct Suicide Squad 2. First of all, I don't think Suicide Squad, I don't know how you can even do a sequel, because the thing about Suicide Squad is it's a world where Superman's currently gone. Spoiler alert, Batman v Superman. Superman's no longer. He's, supposedly dead, but we all know he's coming back. So that's why you need Suicide Squad, because it's a world without Superman. But Superman's going to be back. So what do you need Suicide Squad for? You have the Justice League. But I digress. Anyways, Mel Gibson is in talks to be the director of Suicide Squad 2, which I find very interesting, because I want to say he had comments about superhero movies, and about even going as far as talking about the tights superheroes wear. Yeah, that was like a couple months ago, so it seemed like he, had no interest in that sort of thing. But, it was rumored that he was in talks to direct Suicide Squad 2, so I found that very interesting. But I thought, there's no way, that's just a rumor. But he even came out and said, yeah, we did kind of have a first date, and he is talking with them. So that is very interesting, and that kind of gives me some hope for the DC universe, which I don't know why I should have hope anymore, because we haven't been able to talk about this much. But yeah, Ben Affleck is not directing. Actually, I think we did talk about this last show, but he's not directing Batman. And then there were talks that maybe he's not even, maybe he's dropping out completely in it. But it doesn't seem like it, because They just announced the director for it. Oh, what's his name? The solo Batman movie director. I'm looking it up, folks. Usually I have a cohort here to fill in some stuff while I look up stuff. But the director of the Batman, so Matt Reeves, is it? Matt Reeves, I want to say. Let's see here. Yeah, Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves was announced as the director of the Batman film, and then Ben Affleck tweeted out, "Welcome to the Batcave" to him. So seems like maybe yes, he will be starring in it, which I would be surprised if he didn't. But DC seems in trouble. So you had Mel Gibson directing a Suicide Squad 2 movie. First of all, directing a sequel is surprising for a director of his caliber. But it gets me excited, because once Suicide Squad was done, I thought there was no way they were going to do a sequel. They were just going to have, spin-offs from each character, like a Deadshot movie, Harley Quinn, characters like that. But the Suicide Squad 2, directed by Mel Gibson, has me intrigued. So we'll see how that develops. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. Some stuff in the Star Wars world. This really got headlines just because people made a big thing about it. Even I, made a big thing about it because I just saw the headline. It basically said, J.J. Abrams says Mark Hamill's performance in The Last Jedi, the upcoming Star Wars film, is Oscar worthy. First of all, of course he's going to say that. He's a producer of the film. He directed the first Star Wars film that kind of reintroduces everyone to Star Wars. He directed that. So of course he's going to, say good things about it. And he even said, and then I finally, I looked into it deeper, and he said it more in jest, like basically, I think just because, he didn't give Mark Hamill any lines in Force Awakens. He was in that last scene, just a shot of him. So I think he's almost kind of joking. But the quote he gave to them is, "I think we are all going to be very upset if he does not win an Oscar, and no one more upset than Mark." And he even said, this was actually a joke towards Hamill, who posted the following funny tweet addressed to Abrams a few days ago that said, at hamster hashtags, he said hashtag JJ's pointers. It's a picture of J.J. Abrams on that island that Luke was on, talking to Luke, kind of directing him probably where to just looked, basically directing him. It's just kind of a behind the scenes photo. Hashtag JJ's pointers, hashtag slowly turn, remove hood, but don't start your lengthy Oscar-worthy moment. Hashtag silence speaks. So it's obviously a joke. Headlines ran crazy with it, saying J.J. Abrams says it's going to be, it's Oscar-worthy. But even if he wasn't saying it jokingly, of course he's going to say that. He's a producer. He was the director of the first film. Of course he's going to say that. And then another interesting quote here. This was an interview with E.T. Online. They asked, Mark Hamill keeps posting about what you said to him on that cliff. And then Abrams said, actually, he's very funny. I always think, frankly, that he has been a little bit underrated. Look what he had to do, bring 3PO and R2-D2 to life in a way. His work was always incredible, and there he was in that sadly short scene at the end of The Force Awakens, and he had to convey a whole lot with no dialogue, so it's a lot harder in a way than you might think. He is a terrific actor, and I can't wait for everyone to see what he finally does say. Abrams didn't miss the chance to say some good words for Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi as well. E.T. Online asked, were you a little jealous that someone else got to write Luke's first line of dialogue? Abrams said, sure, there's definitely a pain, but Rian Johnson is a great filmmaker and storyteller, and I think that what he's done is well. You will see, but for me, I was less jealous and more excited as a fan of the series. My involvement is minimal, as Rian Johnson is a filmmaker who doesn't need babysat. He is hard at work in editing the movie now, and it's going to be amazing. So there you have it. So yeah, people going crazy. And also, we didn't get to talk about this. They released a cast image of the Han Solo movie. All of them on the Millennium Falcon. You had Alden Ehrenreich, Emilia Clarke, Woody Harrelson, Donnie Glover, a couple of the other actors, and Chewbacca. Most of them are in street clothes, except for Chewbacca. Chewbacca came fully dressed. Can you believe that? What a stand-up guy. What a stand-up guy. And I believe that's it for Star Wars news. And basically, again, we've been out of it. I don't know what we talked about last, but basically that's the main headline in the Star Wars universe. To get a Thrawn book coming out. If you guys have not checked out Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, the TV show, definitely check that out, because it's definitely going to start tying into Rogue One, possibly even A New Hope soon, probably by next season. It's very intriguing. It's on Disney XD, so yes, it's a kids show, but it's definitely it's for adults, because there's stuff that goes totally over kids' heads, and it just adds to the whole lore, the whole story of Star Wars. And read the books too if you're into reading. Adds so much depth to the universe, and just adds. And you just know that they're all canon, so you know these things actually happened in the Star Wars universe. So I think it's really cool, guys. I think it's really cool. So check it out, all right? Check it out. All right, so that's pretty much our show. Did my Logan review. Talked about a couple of trailers. And some movie news. Let me just double check. Let me see if there's any other movie news that needs to be said, that needs to be relayed to you guys. And by the way, I meant to say that Kong Skull Island reviews are coming out, and they're getting fairly good reviews. So I'm getting more excited for that. Let's see. Nah, not really any more reviews. And one thing I do want to say for the Logan movie, there's no post-credit scene, but maybe there's a pre-credit scene. Just saying, not giving anything away, but maybe there's a pre-credit scene. Just saying. All right, guys, that's it for me. Let's go over what's coming out this week, though. Obviously, we have Logan coming out. And then, let's see here. I'm very prepared, as you can tell. I don't have my partners in crime today, so can you blame me? All right, so Logan's the biggest release this week. Then we have Before I Fall, another movie coming out. You know, that one. The Shack is also coming out. But Logan's the main one. And then next week we have, the week after Logan, we have Kong Skull Island. The week after that, we have Beauty and the Beast. The week after that, we have Power Rangers, which, your boy Brandon's excited about, and Chips, the comedy, which some people are saying it's probably going to do terrible at the box office. It kind of looks funny to me. I can't wait to see Chips. And then the week after that, we have Ghost in the Shell, which was on Joey. Our guest Joey gave that on his most anticipated movies of the year. And then the week, they're just movies week after week. So it's already shaping to be a exciting year in film. And it's exciting already. I mean, Oscars are done, but we have a whole brand new year of film. So happy about that. And I can't wait to see what next Oscars bring. All right. Where I think the box office will fall next week. I haven't given a prediction in a while. Let me look at this weekend. I know Logan's the only one coming out. Yeah, Logan's going to be number one, followed by Get Out, Lego Batman movie, John Wick, and then I'm going to go I'm going to say Great Wall falls even below 50 Shades Darker. So was going to put them all down just one spot, but I'm going Logan, Get Out, Lego Batman movie, John Wick Chapter 2, and then 50 Shades Darker is going to leapfrog over the Great Wall. You watch. And it's probably going to be those other two movies I mentioned are coming out this week, but I haven't heard much about them, so I doubt it. But all right, folks. Well, we will definitely be back next week, hopefully talking about Kong Skull Island. And if not, you know, I tried. But, all right, folks. That's it for me. Appreciate you listening. I got nothing. Again, they left me, guys. They abandoned me. But anyways, I'm not going to drag this out anymore. Grab your popcorn. Grab your snacks. I'll catch you guys at the movies.